the number of Muslims who want Sharia law, brace yourself, it's a little scary. Guess you're going to have to get your glasses on. Many back Sharia as official law. Let's start at the bottom of this. In case you can't see it on your screen, this is Central Asia. Only 12% want Sharia law, and you go, that seems safe. In southern Eastern Europe, 18%. Sub-Saharan Africa, it jumps to 64% want Sharia law over any other governmental system. Middle East, North Africa, 74%. Southeast Asia, 77%. And finally, South Asia, 84% want Sharia law. And now the question, of course, is from whence are our immigrants coming? This from the American Thinker. It is incoherent to assume that a Muslim from, say, Morocco, where 83% of Muslims favor Sharia law. By the way, if you want to go see something gruesome, check out the most recent video, a bunch of Moroccan men beating up a transgendered person. 60 Muslims on one girl. Morocco. Who emigrates to the United States would want to enshrine Sharia law in Morocco, but not the USA. That seems pretty reasonable. They want Sharia law there. If we bring them over here, they're going to want it in the US of A. The American Thinker continues. Pew data unequivocally shows that a Muslim immigrant from most of the world is far more likely than not to desire the enshrinement of Sharia law. It is also important to note that almost all American Muslims, in other words, upwards of more than 80%, either foreign-born or born in the USA, are originally from the Middle East, North Africa, South Asia, or Sub-Saharan Africa. You'll recall those are the regions with the highest indigenous support for Sharia law. Those are just the facts, ma'am. And when we engage on this conversation, we need to zero in on this. Not the theology at the moment, not at jihad for the moment, Sharia law, where they don't want women to be educated or to drive an automobile, or we throw homosexuals off of buildings, or we beat up transgender people in the streets of Morocco. They want, overall, depending on the region, they want that here. Now, please note, you remember that lower statistic, like 12%? Okay, there are some who don't. So when we talk about Muslims, we have to say, yes, there are some Muslims who don't want Sharia law. But most do. Back to the American Thinker. A survey of Muslim Americans in 2011. A significant minority, 21% of Muslim Americans say there is a great deal, 6%, or a fair amount, 15% of support for extremism in the Muslim American community. Only 34% of U.S. Muslims said there is no support for extremism in the Muslim American community. So, how many Muslim Americans are there, and how many people are we talking about here? American Thinker did the math. 1% of Muslim Americans say that suicide bombing and other forms of violence against civilian targets are often justified to defend Islam from its enemies. An additional 7% say suicide bombings are sometimes justified in these circumstances. Uh-oh, you know what that means, Christian? That we've got Muslims in America that not only want Sharia law, they are actually sometimes in favor of jihad.